What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to look at all of the special rares which are coming around in OP-07. They've all been revealed, and they are beautiful. And I want to start off here with Nami. Now, I've seen a bunch of people online basically going, well, hang on a second. Do we really need more Nami? Because Nami is really just Nami, right? Like back in OP-05, which was not that long ago, one of the special rares was Nami. We get lots and lots of special Nami cards. Do we need another one? And the answer is, yeah. And I've seen people commenting stuff like, Bandai don't know what they're doing, or Bandai have made a terrible decision, and no. Bandai know exactly what they're doing, and Bandai have made a great decision, and the reason is simple. Nami is probably the most popular One Piece character. So obviously you're going to print extra Nami cards, and here's the thing, right? If people stopped getting excited about Nami cards, we would get fewer of them. Anyone want to guess off the top of their head which of the special rares from OP-05 is by far the most expensive? It's obviously Nami. Obviously, it's Nami. I mean, we could look at the alternate art leaders from OP-03, and Nami is way more expensive than it has any right to be as a card. No way. No way this should actually be up there as high as it is. It's the second most expensive leader, despite being kind of borderline playable. Yes, I know it made top 8 at European finals. I know it's a good deck, but it's not as good as stuff like Katakuri or Enel or anything like that. And yet it ends up just a smidge below those kind of decks. Why? Because it's Nami. And if anybody wants to know why this keeps happening, that Nami keeps getting these special cards, it's because we keep buying them, we keep getting excited by them, and we keep pushing the price of them up so they're the most expensive. If we stop doing that, Bandai will stop printing Nami cards. They have no reason to do so as it stands at the moment. Now, with Nami, we don't actually have an English image of it because it's from OP-06, but remember it did have a regular, and it also had an alternate art. So we can have a look at both of them, and look, you got 3 to choose from here. I'm going to leave this one up to you. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, actually, if you look at this, the special rare is the best of it, right? The special rares, I actually think, and I'll obviously show you all of them as we go through here, I do think that in this set, they have absolutely knocked it out the park. I think they're absolutely stunning. And of course, we've got Wano, no Nami there, just kind of chilling in the city with fireworks, and it's just wonderful. As a card, on play, it gives one of your characters banish, or your leader banish for the turn. And as a trigger, you get to KO one of your opponent's 5 cost or lower characters. It's a very, very good card. There we go. Now, we are getting ourselves a special rare of Isho, and to be clear, right, Nami is going to be the most popular of them. Let's not beat around the bush here. But the Isho one is extremely cool, sitting and sharing a meal. They're very stylized this time round. They all follow a bit of a pattern. They all look awesome. This is, of course, the Isho from OP-03. And yes, there was an alternate art version of this. So again, we've got 3 to choose from. Although again, I really don't think there's much of a choice going on here. I think the new special rare is, by a wide margin, the best of them. Now, this Isho, what we've got is an 8 cost 9,000 power, so it's very expensive. But you got Don X1, on your turn, give all of your opponent's characters -3 cost. Very good in a black deck. And on play, if your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, you get to trash 2 cards from their hand. So you're lowering cost, which is good in a black deck. You are hand disrupting, which is good in any deck. You've got 9k power. This is pretty gosh darn nice. But there are some other Wano characters we should probably pivot and have a little bit of a look at here, including Izzo. And it is, of course, the really good Izzo that came around in OP-03. It's a 1 cost, 2,000 power, counter plus 1,000. It's a red card, and it is, as I like to phrase it, your generic Whitebeard pirate searcher. That is to say, 1 cost, and on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a Whitebeard Pirate, so other than Izzo, put it in your hand, rest at the bottom of your deck. You know the deal at this point. But once again, it's kind of like it's giving you a taste of life in Wano, and I think that's fantastic. And it's a really cool version of an existing card we've had for a while that is extremely playable and people are going to love. And while we're talking Wano, we might as well also have a look at Okiku here, because yeah, apparently there is another Wano card, and this is one that we actually got way back in OP-01, and it's a card that saw a bunch of play early, but hasn't been seeing anywhere near as much play since. But what we got here is a free cost, 5,000 power, Don X1, when attacking, once per turn, rest one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. And obviously resting characters is good. Like, as a general rule, resting your opponent's characters, making it so they can't do very much, this is a good thing that people like. And there we go. That's what you need to know. Cool card, sees a bunch of play, less than it did, but still a very relevant card. People are going to love it. But maybe my favourite one that we're getting is the Doflamingo. I adore this card. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's Doflamingo chilling with the crew, and then there's people in a pool right next to Doflamingo because I'm not entirely sure why, but it really gives you this air of Doflamingo as a leader. And I just think this is fantastic. I think this is awesome. And again, it's another one of those artworks where if you're a big fan of the manga, big fan of the anime, if you've read/watched it, you're going to look at this and this is going to just give you memories of those stories. And it's absolutely fantastic. It's also another card that we got way back in OP-01. It's the good Doflamingo. Free cost, 4,000 power, counter plus 1,000. And you've got blocker, which is lovely. But also you've got that skill whereby on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and place them at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Now, obviously, back in the OP-01 meta, this was good with the Doflamingo leader. And it was very good with the Doflamingo leader because that let you Don X2 when attacking, pay 1, and you reveal the top card of your deck if it's a 7 Warlord of the Sea with a cost of 4 or less, play it rested. So obviously the goal here was to use the character to try and make sure that you've got a relevant character on top of your deck that can then be played for free with your leader. That deck's kind of gone now. Blue Doflamingo has not really been relevant for a long time, but you're still stacking the top of your deck. It's still a blocker. We've got the Sanji coming in OP-06. I mean, Japan's already got it, but we've got it coming. The one that lets you play the top card of your deck if it's a 9 cost or less. So basically, just stack the top card of your deck and this will work very nicely. And maybe, ladies and gentlemen, maybe this one could be kind of fun. I have definitely got my eye on it. And like some of the others we've had a little bit of a look at here, yes, this one did have an alternate art as well. So you've got a little bit of a choice here in terms of which artwork you go for. And then finishing off, the last one we've got is Captain Eustace Kidd. Not my favourite artwork personally, but I've already seen a bunch of people saying how great this is. It's not for me, although if I pull it, I will of course be delighted. But I think this is one that a lot of people are going to make their chase card of the set. And this is the one from OP-05, the really good one, that also had an alternate art and a manga rare. Now look, obviously the coolest version of this card is the manga rare. Does anybody really want to play the manga rare in their deck? And I'm sure some people do, but holy moly, that manga rare is not cheap. Are you going to drop like $4,000 on a playset of these and put it in your deck? Probably not. So you're really comparing this new special rare to the alternate art from OP-05. And I think if you just compare those, this one is pretty good. The other one's pretty good, to be fair, but this one is also pretty good. It's a very good card. It's one of my favourite cards from OP-05. It's a blocker, but on your turn, once per turn, when a Don card is returned to your Don deck from the field, you add a Don card active. So Don minor skills, rather than taking Don off your field, actually just activate a Don instead. It's kind of brilliant. It's a great card. I think the special rares this time around are absolutely amazing. For me, it's Doflamingo. I think that is absolutely the coolest. But I'm going to be honest with you, I think the Nami one is kind of amazing as well. They're all brilliant. But I want to hear from you guys. Which of these is your favorite? Which of these is going to be your chase card of the set? Which of these do you covet? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.